Okay, so let me give you a quick history lesson to what's going on here, real quick. So, Marvel, as of today, actually came out with a book called Marvel Comics Number 1000, which is incredibly stupid because there is no ongoing comic book called Marvel Comics. What they're doing is trying to grab up on some of them DC comic sales because DC Comics has had Batman number 1000, or no, they had Detective Comics number 1000, and they had Action Comics number 1000. And those made a lot of money. Those made quite a bit of money, actually. So much so that Marvel Comics wants to jump in, as always, and try to milk some of them dollars. I gotta say, if you're a comic book vendor and you ordered a bunch of these, that was really stupid of you to do. If you bought a bunch of these, that was dumb. I'm not gonna buy this, and I do a lot of comic book reviews. I'm not buying this. I got no interest in this. This is stupid. This is a complete crash grab. But that's not really the point of what I wanted to talk about here. In the preview copy, they removed it. They had a essay, as you can see from the title, that was critical of America in the 80th anniversary issue. That's what I guess this is, 80 years. I don't know why they just don't call it 80th anniversary issue. Oh, I know why. Because they want to milk money and make people think that this is a milestone, number 1000 or something, like the two DC books. But anyway, there's a very critical essay which we're going to get to, and it is, of course, written by man-child himself, Mark Waid. When I saw that he wrote this, I was like, oh, of course to him. Of course. If you don't know, Mark Waid is embroiled in a huge lawsuit with Richard C. Meyer, a.k.a. Comics Matter with ya boy Zach, also formerly Diversity in Comics. They're in a huge lawsuit right now because Mark Waid threw tantrums and was calling and strong-arming people and trying to get the original publisher of his Jawbreakers books as an Antarctic Press to drop him, and they did. And then, of course, Richard taking him to court for tortious interference. You can find plenty of videos that will explain that whole situation. But the the important thing here is that you know that Mark Waid is a man-child, a small child in a man's body. Throws tantrums. There's stories of him sending like somebody he didn't like. I think it was his wife died or he died, and either way, he sent the survivor of the marriage a black reef. Punches holes in his walls. Stories allegedly of him. And if you want, the known rumor was if you want to get your way up in Marvel, you just got to know your way. Or if you want to get your way into the comic book industry, you just got to find your way to Mark Waid's zipper. But in any case, Mark Waid is at it again. He wrote this long essay that they removed, but luckily the Hollywood Reporter here has a copy of it. So we don't really need to go over this article. It just goes over the history over at Marvel and how they've been trying to be political. There's a reference here to when they were going to have the Orange Skull. Let's go ahead. If you don't know that, it's the Red Skull. Let's go ahead and change him. We all know what that would be a reference to. Marvel Comics is probably the worst out of all of the comic book stuff going on right now when it comes to politics because they want to fill their books with it. They want to fill it all. Comic book pros in general are weird, strange people. They have massive egos. They think that they are the greatest thing in the world when most of them can't even sell books. All of the books are horrible. Just about. Few of them are okay. I review most of the really good ones still. But for the most part, all of the comic books that are out right now are pretty terrible. These are like bottom feeder talents. And, for some reason, they can come right into comic book industry as long as, you have the right way of thinking, stuff like that. You're in. I mean, we've seen that right now with certain people that come from certain political areas, certain movements. They're given jobs in comics with no comic experience. Come on in. Come on in. You can write a book. Anybody can. So long as you've got the right way of thinking. You're welcome. If not, get out. And we see it time and time again. Certain people have been kicked out of the industry. Notably Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, so on and so on. Now, let's go over this essay here. And you can see the fact that they were going to originally, they approved this and then it got taken out. So this was going to, I don't know if this would have been at the front or the back of the book. It was apparently going to have a big spread of Captain America and stuff like that. And they're basically telling people to take to the streets and stuff. It's really creepy. So let's take a look at this. Here's the original essay. I'm asked how it's possible to love a country that's deeply flawed. It's hard sometimes. The system isn't just. We've treated some of our own abominably. Worse, we perpetuated the myth that any American can become anything, can achieve anything through sheer force of will. And that's not always true. This isn't the land of opportunity for everyone. The American ideals aren't always shared fairly. Yet without them, we have nothing. With nothing, cynicism becomes reality. With nothing for the privileged and the disenfranchised, both our way of life ceases to exist. We must always remember that America, as imperfect as it is, has something. It has ideals that give it structure. When the structure works, we get schools, we get roads and hospitals, we get a social safety net. More importantly, when we have structure, we have a foundation upon which to rebuild the American dream. That equal opportunity can be available to absolutely everyone. America's systems are flawed, but there are our own mechanism with which to remedy inequality on a meaningful scale. Yes, it's hard and bloody work, but history has shown us that we can, bit by bit, right that system when enough of us get angry. When enough of us take to the streets and force those empowered to listen. When enough of us call for revolution and say injustice will not stand. That's what I love about America. So, you basically have, that would have been a Marvel comic book, their 80th anniversary issue, saying, hey, take to the streets, then go get people out of their homes if you don't agree with them. Like, that isn't that nuts? Like, we're calling for a some kind of revolutionary change in a freaking Marvel comic book. Number one, no one's reading these things, because of crap like this. This is why no one's reading them, because this stuff was peppered throughout the comics. The entire Axel Alonso run, that's the former editor-in-chief. He'd gone now, but now we got fat boy C.B. Cebulski in there who don't do anything. Runs around getting the coffee for his assistants. So I doubt it was him that nixed this. It was probably somebody up. Somebody said something about somebody that donated some money. I don't remember, but this was probably somebody from Disney. Found out about this, caught wind, and said, whoa. We can't have this in there. You got to take this out because you are asking for all kinds of problems. This had been really bad, and they took it out. But thankfully, people were kind enough to make sure to share the copy that was in the preview book. And I'm very grateful for that. So this is quite funny. I can't believe that they literally were. Who okayed this? Like, I wonder what's going in their mind. Let's include an essay. Pretty much, we're doing the Orange Man bad here. That's what this was. But you're basically saying, hey, let's get angry. Let's take to the streets and use force. That's what they're saying here. And how does this get approved? Thankfully, somebody was smart enough to catch it and get rid of it before we had big problems. But you know what's really funny about these people? Mentions right here, Marvel Entertainment CEO Ike Perlmutter is a longtime friend and supporter of Trump and made a huge donation. If these people were so sick of the way things are going, you think that they would quit their jobs and find another job, because they should be disgusted with his behavior, right? They shouldn't want to work for someone like that. They should be quitting their jobs, saying we're not going to work for this guy. Hey, fascist, out here, a ringer, outright ringer. We got to get out of this. But they don't do that. They stay there because they're a bunch of phonies. All they are, phonies. Mark Waid writes this thing like he's some kind of intellectual person. This dude writes comic books. He writes comic books, this guy. It's like, I That's like going to a theater department in a school and asking for advice on how to fix your transmission in a car. These people are stupid. All of them. All of them are so dumb. And when the comic industry collapses, and it's really looking like it's gonna, I'm just gonna laugh because they literally do it to themselves. You know, this isn't the kind of crap anybody wants to read when they pick up a comic book. They don't want to see lectures, be told they need to take to the streets. It's so stupid. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if you're going to pick up this dumb comic. I'm going to be passing on it. And share the video. Let's get this word out because they wanted this removed. So let's make sure everyone knows what they would have been buying. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Check out my Twitch. You can follow me over at YellowFlash Comics on Twitch. There's a link in the description. I'll see you guys on the next one.